Heroes, gather tribute and earn my favor.
What the fuck was that?
All right. I guess we're live.
In a while.
Yeah, we're
Been
all
a
back.
while.
Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks, right? 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Reminds me of that Stained song. It's been a while.
That band is so bad now.
Been a while.
Now that I think about it, like when I was a senior in high school, I loved that band, but now they're like, what was I thinking?
You had T9s. That's what happened.
You didn't like Aaron Lewis back in the...
He does country songs now. You guys know that? He's a country singer, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, welcome to episode 98 of the GankBush podcast. I'm your host, Fringe Average. I haven't done this in a while. All right, so
You mean last week?
yeah. So I'm a little intoxicated right now, but all right. So for those of you listening for the first time, we are the only explicit Heroes of the Storm podcast where all the different co-hosts represent different play levels. For example, this week we have someone as low as a silver type player all the way up to a Grandmaster level player. Or actually, a Master level player. Take that back. We bring you the latest HOTS news and discuss the latest tips and strategies so that you can become a better player. So let's go ahead and introduce our Platinum level player. That is All Backpack, who's calling in from Abu Dhabi.
Hello. Good to be back finally.
Okay, let's go ahead and introduce our Master level player. That is Scott, who's calling in from San Francisco, California.
Yeah, good to be back. One of two master level players now.
Oh,
The
bird.
Oh, but I mean, unless it's changed in the last day, I'd say the highest ranked player on the podcast.
Oh
shit.
So let's go ahead and introduce our other Master level player. That is Bacon, who's calling in from Buford, Georgia.
No, Fringe, I think what you meant to say was former two-time Grandmaster, current Master player of Bacon. The king is back, baby, bitches! I survived!
Former.
What's up?
Yeah, Bacon is back from the plague, apparently.
Yeah.
I
But,
thought
yeah.
maybe watching Fringe's stream lowered your immune system. You're susceptible to a lot of diseases.
Well, I spent like the past 2 hours editing something for the Fringe Average last placement, and I feel awful right now. So that might have something to do with it. So yeah, it's good to be back. Sorry I missed the last 2 weeks. It seemed like the GankBush guys liked it, taking a break from the video side, but we're back, and more goofs and gaffes are to be had, I guess. Especially in episode 100, I have a couple ideas planned out.
Yeah, I think we actually
here.
Yeah, people want us to plan something special for it. I feel like we just have like a blank
I have a
screen
surprise
now.
for you guys.
Blank
Don't worry.
screen. That is.
Yes, Bacon, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I have something prepared for episode 100, so it should be fun. It's lifting us up while bringing Matt down, so it should be fun.
Oh, great.
Yeah, another one of those.
Oh, that's always
The
fun.
classic.
Bag on the host.
Yeah, the usual.
Yeah, the guy who runs everything. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and introduce our last player. That is our silver type player. That is Tower Baron, who's calling in from San Diego, California.
What's up, Fringe? It's good to be here in the Nexus. I noticed I got demoted to silver here. Well, I'm only 5 matches into my Smurf account. 2 and 3. I think I can hold gold with another 2 and 3. So we'll see at the end of this week.
Going 4 and 6, you're not gonna hold gold.
Well, I was gold 4, so I figure I dropped down to gold 5, which would still retain the gold status.
Maybe.
When
Try
you're
so hard.
nitpicking like this, it doesn't matter at all. You're just gonna get the demotion. I'm never gonna promote you back up until you're like gold 3.
It's a range, you know.
If that's the case, then that means Bacon can't be Grandmaster until he's like on the leaderboard, or like in the top 100 or something, right?
No. Like I said, former 2-time Grandmaster, current master. It's okay. I'm the 2-time.
Yeah.
All right.
Next
so,
season.
Next season.
All right. So let's do some plugs out of the way. So we stream every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. If you listen to us on iTunes or Stitcher, please subscribe and/or rate and review. Also, if you have any friends who play the game and who like podcasts, please spread the word. Tell them about the show. We have a WinTime channel in BNet. It's called WinTime, one word, WinTime. Also, we have a Discord channel. If you have any emails, please email us at podcast@gankbushsquad.com. Also, we have a Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/gankbush squad, you can find us there. We have a YouTube channel where we put all the videos from the show, or all the segments of the show, of the live show, onto the YouTube channel. Also, if you go to gankbushsquad.com, you can find links to all the aforementioned property hubs that we have. And including, also, you can find the music that we use for the audio show. And this week we're using a band from San Francisco called From Monument to Masses. They broke up about 6-7 years ago, but they're still really good. And all right, so we have some announcements, some quick announcements. So first of all, congratulations to Hero Physio, the coach of LFM. He is our favorite Canadian Asian, and they won their first game on Sunday.
Yay!
Hey, congrats. I think they won it pretty handily too, right? Not that.
Yeah.
Wait, Fringe, do you know where that's from?
Nice.
Wait, Fringe, do you know where that's from?
That British show, the British.
No,
No!
that
No!
he knows nothing about games. He knows nothing.
It's from Final
Is it?
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy
7.
7.
Oh,
Yep.
oh God.
That's right after you win your little random battle or whatever.
Mhm.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything about that.
You
game.
win an encounter, and then that's the victory theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember old Backpack playing hours on end, like just killing chocobos or something like that for
You
XP
don't kill chocobos.
or whatever.
Yeah,
it
right.
You ride chocobos.
You ride
Yeah.
chocobos.
is. He
Golden
was like
saucer,
farm.
man. Go to
But-
Golden Saucer.
You do farm random encounters.
There's a
Find the
chocobo.
chocobo.
There's a chocobo-like mount in the game Heroes. It's the golden cuck.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing.
Yeah.
Do you
Everybody
guys ever
loves a golden
realize?
cock.
You guys ever realize in Final Fantasy 7 it was kind of racist because they made the darker chocobo the fastest one.
Did they?
There was
Well,
the
second fastest.
the black
Yeah,
one
it
was
was
the
the second fastest.
well. I mean, they didn't. The golden one you got to get, but when you just did the chocobo race, there was only like the black one and it was the fastest. And the guy
Yeah.
with the hat
Yeah,
wrote it.
that's true.
That was,
Anyway, back to LFM.
LFM.
You know, I'd love to ride this black chocobo train, but I think we should talk about elephant. it was really close, game 5. Yeah, it was well fought. Some pretty dominant victories, even though some of the games they got stomped too. They also outplayed and outdrafted in other games. So it's not another even in death, guys. They look great.
It's nice because they beat GFE, who people I think expected to be middle of the pack, and pretty much everybody expects LFM to be 8th place. So for them to get a victory is pretty good, and hopefully
One question though, where's the Probius comps? Like,
those are pocket picks for when you really need them. They didn't need them
Gotcha.
this last match.
It's the pocket pit with the pocket with a hole in it, you know?
It just fell through.
Yeah, it just fell through. But yeah, congrats to them. At the end of the show, we're gonna be playing 3 weeks ago. Fringe Average did the 2 parts of the last placement where he played his placements games. It's a total of 5 hours, but I took the first 5 games, which is about 2.5 hours, and condensed it to about 30 minutes. and I'm gonna play that after the show ends, right after, as like the outro. It should be fun if you guys want to stick around and catch that. It's funny. It'll be good.
Do you have like Fringe being salty? Like just clips of that, or just where he just defeats himself? Like, nope, not fighting this fight.
Spoilers. In the first 5 games, he tapped twice. One time was to check his own damage. The other time was to mute players. He did not check talents one time in 5 games.
Yeah.
So, little.
Well, when you dominate, you don't need to.
No, you went 2-3 in those 5 games.
Yeah.
Well, the games that I won, I dominated though, didn't I?
You also threw a lot of games too.
Yeah.
Which
just probably 1.5 or 2. But anyway,
1.5 or 2 out of those 5.
no.
I'm only responsible for a good 2/3 of my losses.
Out of my 12 that I've played this season, I may have thrown 1.5 to 2 games, to be fair. But anyway, let's move on from this. All right, so where am I? All right, okay, so we got 2 iTunes reviews from the last show. Actually, it's 3, but we only got 2 actual reviews. We got 3 ratings or whatever, but we got 2 actual reviews. So let's. Does anyone want to read the reviews this week?
I'll read it.
Well, don't we want Fringe to read things aloud? That's kind of our ongoing segment.
Practice makes
so
perfect.
Small, it's hard to read in the show notes.
All right, I'll read the first one, and then whoever wants the next one can read the next one. How about that? All right, so this is from Blood Scythe. This is what he said. Overall, a very well put together podcast. The hell with the guy who gave you a 1-star anonymous review. The casters know their stuff, and though the show can ramble at points, that never happens. Just
Black
looking at the show
chocobos.
as evidence. Yeah, like chocobos, black chocobos. They still find a way to keep things interesting. Look forward to these podcasts every week. Great job, guys, and that's from Blood Scythe. So thank you very much, Blood Scythe, for that.
Well done, Fringe.
Well done, Blood Scythe and Fringe, for reading it.
The double.
Mm.
Double congratulations.
All right, so let's. You want Scott? Scott, you want to read it? The other one, because you like the other one. Yes.
You should tell a small one. All right. This is a great podcast if you can get back past the fact that the main host sounds perma drunk. But seriously, if you want entertainment or to grow your game knowledge, this is the best podcast. I wrote in a question and not only got insight from each host, which plays at a different Hero League rank, but also insight from an HGC coach, which will be very useful when I climb out of gold and into the pros. Also, the advice they gave me got me out of silver and currently into gold 3. Oh, all right. Well, shout out to that. But the true strength of the podcast is the community they built, which resides in their Discord channel.
Yeah, so this guy, his name is True Mr. Fu. He was in silver 5, but is now in gold 3. And the reason why he's there is because of us.
Yeah, happy to lend a hand in educating the community and helping people get better.
Yep. The Tower Baron special.
So thank you both you guys for giving us a review. It's very, very well appreciated. And again, if you want to help support this show, please give us reviews. It actually helps us a lot with getting new listeners to the show. And also, Mr. Trufu, or True Mr. Fu. I'm actually drinking wine tonight.
Name.
So, this week I'm drinking a bottle that I won from my last job. It's for those of you who play football. It's the Drew Bledsoe wine. So me and Scott are having some right now.
I thought you said Drew Brees wine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. It's Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, okay.
It's still good. Yeah. They both have Drew as their name. So
One Drew sucks.
Hey, Drew Bledsoe was he's a very, very good quarterback.
I'm talking about Drew Brees.
Oh, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, right? Anyway, who cares about that shit?
Fan. I'm not allowed to say that.
All right. So we have a good show for you. We're going to discuss the new character in the PTR, the Maiev, Also, we're going to discuss some changes in the PTR, such as voice chat, changes to the Protector for Volskaya, the reworks for Greymane, Malthael, and the tweaks to Tyrael. And then also we have a special team fight analysis this week, and we have Nurok, who did a video for us, which we will play in its entirety.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
the pro player on Team Liquid from Europe.
Yep, he's the flex carry, I think. But anyway, so we're going to do some draft analysis stuff, and then we'll do a very brief segment about which shows to watch from the HEC this past weekend. And then I'm going to go, and then you guys can play that video of me playing bad. And then we'll call it a night. Okay, and so Maiev is now in the PTR. And so what are your thoughts? We'll go to Tara Baron first.
I actually like this character a lot. I was playing him in the PTR try mode earlier before the show, and I really like how the bind and the warp, the E, really kind of synergizes together, because you can bind and then warp away, and then it'll stun them. I think it's gonna be really strong earlier game, because you can kind of pull them in toward the towers. I think that's gonna get a lot of people like caught off by surprise. And I really like the shadow, the E ability, because you can take it like whenever, and it's like 3 seconds or so when it's out. And also the animation when it's going back and forth with the eyes kind of like fading as it goes is really cool stylistically. I know you guys don't appreciate that, but I do. One thing is, I think that maybe the fan of knives, it's really short range, and then you have to be at a certain distance to hit. So
I don't think it's that short. I think it's very narrow. It's more
too
narrow.
long.
Like you can't hit anyone inside the fan of arrows, though.
Fan of knives.
Fan of knives.
Fan of arrows.
Fan of knives.
No, but it's like that little moon-shaped curve that's really
Yeah.
hard to hit.
Yeah, it's crescent shape.
Yeah, it has to be kind of
Yeah.
within that range and width. But I like the bind ability and then how it synergizes with the E. I think that's super cool.
So Skitzo says in chat that if you position well, then it's not a problem.
Yep.
Yep, it's a matter
But-
of practice.
Also, I think like you want to like kind of use Umbra Bind and then E out to kind of
Yeah.
activate it, but it's really
Yeah.
hard to engage by yourself because E is your only movement ability, and it's a pretty long cooldown, so it's really hard to use it twice in a team fight or use it to activate Umbra Bind.
Yeah.
I
I can
feel
see
like
it pulling
hero
a lot
like-
of people though into towers.
You definitely need a hard engage hero to help you out with getting Umbra Bind off or to engage.
And you have to be really spot on with the trait too, the jump, the one that's going to avoid avoid damage and stuns and stuff. Like if you're off by a little bit, then like you're screwed. I was just trying on try mode, and the default opponent's Arthas. I was just trying to dodge his W, and you have to be pretty on point with that. So.
All right, so I have two questions. So first of all, thank you to Two-Ton Yoda for giving us 200 cheers. That's awesome. And second of all, Scott, what do you think about the new character?
I like her. I like the feel. I was listening to Town Hall Heroes, and like one of the hosts there was concerned that she'd be a lot like Zeratul, because if you played Warcraft 3, her abilities are basically Blank and Fan of Knives, which was basically like a basically like
Slash.
Cleave.
Yeah.
And she had like a Poison Dart, which was a lot like Singularity Spike. So, seeing her, how they implemented her, she, doesn't seem anything like that. So, and she captures the, the feel of the Warden from when I played Warcraft 3. And I like that she,
Yeah, I mean the outplay potential with Genji's going in, getting like a 5-man team wipe with Dragon Blade. I feel like that potential is there for Maiev, but also the same potential of getting in there and getting popped in 1 second because you're an idiot.
Yeah, I like how she's anti-mobility. She seems like she'll counter, a lot of the mobility creep in particular. I'm hoping she'll counter Genji because I'm not the biggest fan of how he's just able to dash in and out all over the place.
Yeah, that should be good for the dash.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll fully pull him back.
Yeah, or like Hanzo trying to jump away using his trait. He's going to get sucked back, so...
Or Tracer, for that matter.
Yeah, but the only thing is with the Umbral Blind, you got to get an attack off, so... And you don't really have a solid engage to get near Tracer, but, if you are able to attack her... no, Tracer's still hard because she's still got recall, which will take that away.
Okay.
But a lot of the other heroes, she can, lock down and make sure they're not moving around too much.
Her
So
E is
Schizo-
quick.
Oh.
Her E is quick, but it's not a blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
The one
faster
thing-
Sylvanas trait. A Sylvanas E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say the Fan of Knives, when you hit it's on a cooldown of 4 seconds. When you hit 2 enemy heroes or more than that, the cooldown's reduced to 0.5 seconds.
And the mana refund, too.
That cooldown reduction seems kind of ridiculous. I mean, I guess you'll be limited by your mana pool, but that to be able to just spam that.
There's mana refund if you hit 2 heroes. It's free. Same as Maieve's Q.
Okay, yeah, so that just seems kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
Like if you're going up against a dive comp and you got 3 people diving in and you're not the one they're diving on to blow up and you're just able to spam that, like you gotta be doing a ton of damage.
And I don't know if it's just me. Her abilities right now, they just seem a little bit overtuned. She just hits a lot. And I play like 5 games in quick match with her, with a 5-man stack. And I felt like I wasn't really effective because obviously I was learning the hero, but I was still #1 damage. And I didn't
Who are you
feel
playing
like I
with?
was doing #1 damage types of plays. Like even I know the PTR environment, it's a huge range of skill levels, and it's not really good to take anything out of that in terms of just getting the feel for the character. And I felt like I was dog shit all 5 games. I made a couple good plays, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm #1 damage play. And I was #1 damage. And it's like, okay, I guess. But she
She's
just
also
feels
really
overtuned.
tanky on top of dealing all that damage.
Yeah, she gets
so
15
why-
base.
So why is
base
that?
armor, and she's got 2,200 hit points to start.
Yeah.
That's
Tank is
what around ETC level?
Yeah, ETC level HP.
And
But
she
no, but
has
she
like
has permanent armor.
Yeah, and then her 13 talent tier is basically puts her
More
over
armor.
like 40 armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, why is she the first melee assassin to have baseline armor? That seems very unfair to like the Thralls and the Zeratul out there.
Well, she's got no sustain. Everybody that's a melee assassin has sustain besides Samuro, I believe.
Yeah.
Zeratul can get it at 13. He gets it kind of late, but he's like an ambush hero. But in general, the visible melee assassins all have sustain, which she doesn't. And she's a lot, I'd say, like Illidan, to where she's got to be really close to her target to be effective. She doesn't really have any kind of poke. She's got her E, which, I mean, you can poke a little bit, but that's probably better off used as an engage or, saving it for an escape, not necessarily poke damage. So she's got to be in the fight to be dealing damage.
Well, a lot of her abilities help her be sticky, like Umbral Bind, her E ability, and then she can also talent into speed at level 20. Oh, that's level 20 though. And then her Warden's Cage or Containment Disc is also kind of like a root ability if you think about it like that. Schizo has a great point in chat. Like Blizzard says in the video that we're watching right now, one of her strengths is anti-mobility. So when they say that, it's kind of like, oh, anti-Genji, anti-Tracer. But do you think it's even more oppressive for not fast heroes like a Butcher or,
basically
somebody like that?
the
Yeah.
dive composition. Once they dive, there's no running away.
Yeah.
So,
But if you dive and you dive successfully, then hey, then you're winning. You just won the fight. Like yes, she says, if you dive, you must fight this. But like, yeah, I want to fight this. It's not really, it's not really that a counter. She can't prevent something. She has no peel. She says we're fighting.
It's definitely a counter. You umbral bind them,
Yeah.
and the other people that are diving run out of umbral bind range. And those heroes that are, you got bound, either chase them and get pulled back to you, or they stand on the outside edge of that waiting for it to wear off. So you're essentially holding them in place while your team is free to run away if they're not stun locked or slowed.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if the enemy team is diving you, they're still on top of you, right? She can't peel anyone out. She says she chooses where you fight at, but can't actually, disengage.
You can peel with the bind. You can just go the opposite. Like if you're peeling away from your team, you mean peel away from the team or peel away from yourself?
Yeah, like I mean, she can't disengage from a fight, right? She chooses,
herself. Yeah.
Yeah, she chooses the location of where you fight very well, but if you're with your team and your team is dove on top of, you can't do anything about that.
She can
Like,
peel
yes,
other
she'll probably
people
win the
off of
fight.
them.
She's an assassin. A lot of assassins don't have ways to peel very well like that. That's not her role.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that she's not really an anti-dive hero because she doesn't stop the dive.
Yeah. Well, I said she's anti-mobility. I never said
okay.
anti-dive.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's anti-disengage. If anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now, Bacon, in those 5 games, did you go the Q build?
I tried Q build, and then I
Yeah.
tried Umbra Bind. The Bonds of Justice at level 1, which is basically get multiple 2-man Umbral binds off. That shit is hard, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking that
It's
too.
impossible.
2 people with an auto attack, right?
Yeah. I'm playing against bronze level players on PTR because that's usually what happens, and I couldn't get. Maybe I just suck with her right now, but it's gonna take a while to get used to.
You got the fight mid where people, jump up and jump in and love to fight, but outside of that, you don't have a lot of team fights where you're getting value from that until like probably close to 10.
Yeah.
But if you can finish the quest, it's actually a lot of damage. Yeah.
All right. So what type of team comps work really well with her, and which team comps negate her?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. She has a very flexible build. Her kit's really good in general. Just like she's good at team fighting. Right?
So
that's her thing.
It seems like she's very susceptible to crowd control. Right?
She's got her trait, which I mean we haven't even mentioned yet. It basically you jump up into the air and you're untargetable for 0.75 seconds.
So it's Vikings jump, right? But are you like when Vikings jump, right? They have the invulnerable sign above them. Is it the same thing for her? Like, can she be CC'd or is it just damage prevention?
No, damage and CC. She can't get hit by anything.
Okay.
It says you're immune to all hostile effects.
Okay, but is it unstoppable?
It essentially is. It's like immune. It's like you have a mini D shield.
Yeah, it's not unstoppable. If you're rooted, I don't think you can use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But if
Same
you're
with the teleport.
slowed when you use that, it breaks the slow on you.
All right.
And it's like a 8 or 12 second cooldown. I don't have the number in front of me, but it's really
8
short.
seconds. It's a very short cooldown.
Yep.
And
All right,
I did see like on one of the 16 talent tiers, it says gain 35% more physical damage anytime you have more than 15 armor. Her baseline armor is 15. So I just think automatically Uther, like if she has Uther heal, she automatically has that damage boost to her physical damage. You're talking about
a level 16, right? Armored Assault.
Yeah.
And she has like a Q1 at level 13, which gives you 5 armor if you can hit a hero, right?
Yeah.
So that automatically puts you over the 15 threshold to activate.
Yeah.
That.
For level 13,
it might be nice.
all all of her talents at level 13 buff her armor in one way or another.
Yeah. So I guess that's sort of like an auto attack type of build too. She has a lot of flexibility, I think, too.
She hits hard auto attack wise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, have you tried level 1 quest where she gets Cassia bounces? That thing is broken because it bounces back and forth between 2 heroes.
I mean, but you have to hit the fan of knives, like 2 people with it, right, to reset it?
Yeah,
Is that one?
That's the reset.
Yeah.
But
speaking of that,
it's huge. Yeah.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, so it's just a huge damage buff. It's like Cassia's charged strikes.
Yeah. Speaking of which, her level 20s, it's like 1 use, but you could only use it again if you meet certain requirements. So, what do you guys think about that? It's kind of tough, in my opinion.
I liked it. It makes it more of a little mini game, right? If you want to have this ability refresh, you must, Umbral Blind 2 heroes, which is a challenge, but it changes your playstyle.
So Schizo in chat says the Q armor with blade dance is very insane, is what he said. And then he also said that her charged strikes works on structures as well.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So it seems as though, because I've been, somewhat listening the last few minutes, and it seems as though that she's very, very overpowered right now.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know. I mean,
hard
she
to
seems
tell.
strong, but if you have a bunch of ranged on the opposite team fighting in an open space, you get shit for value out of her. So you asked about counters earlier. That's one way to easily counter her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Her numbers are
let
just
me,
a little too strong.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
is she just overtuned and not overpowered then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
Okay.
Like a 5-10% nudge, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the opposite of Malthael, who's tuned right, but just underpowered.
Okay. Well,
I think the Q build is going to be the easiest one to pull off and the most popular one as well.
so
all
if
Q talents.
let me see. If you're playing Hero League next week, are you just first banning her?
Not my
Yes.
Hero League matches. I don't think she's that overpowered. Like she's still susceptible to poke. I think there is still a burden of execution with her. Like you can't just run in and kill people. You have to, time out your trait, right? So you avoid damage and don't get blown up. There is a burden of execution with the character that, like, I think that was lacking in Hanzo, which is a little bit easier to play. Even though I'm trying to get used to Hanzo, she's a lot more difficult to play, like being more melee.
Yeah, I do like that her best engage is also her only escape, so you have to be very, very committed once you use that EN.
Yeah.
To me,
It's gonna be like Genji.
Yeah.
Dog shit win rate, but there'll be those guys who put in the time.
So my thoughts is that in the silver and bronze and probably the gold level, that she'll be really bad. She'll be highly prioritized, but she'll be really bad.
Definitely
she'll
very
be
fun to play, though. Very fun to play.
Yeah. Also, very high skill cap because you have so many activatables. Like, yes, you're gonna have the charge strikes. You're gonna have her trait, which is very important for her survivability. She has, as I said, execution-wise, she's very, very hard to play.
So Space Monkey says that Hanzo is a good counter to Maiev.
He
Well,
is.
yeah, Hanzo has super long range.
Also shreds armor.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Alright,
he
well,
also has
anything
one
I-
of the best disengages and can't jump over a wall, and then Maev's like, oh, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
All right. So anything else on Maiev at all, or?
She's really fun. Like, congrats,
Yeah.
Blizzard. Actually, I was afraid that Maiev would never be in the game because Tyrande has a Maiev skin. But, they said, screw it. We're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So moving on. So the protector on Volskaya now does got a 25% damage buff, and it now has 10 armor when two.
No, so remember that
people-
only occurs when both people are in the mech.
Okay, so when both players are in the mech, there's a 25% damage buff, and then you get 10 armor.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Also, the health now scales 10% higher than it does before.
So now is it feasible now to have two players? If everyone's alive, is it feasible and the opponents are all alive? Is it viable to have two people in the mech now?
Yeah.
Probably mandatory.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it got buffed in that circumstance, but also the disable the rocket fist for the pilot, the duration got doubled from 2 to 4 seconds, and the for the gunner, the Gatling cannon, now fires immediately, where I guess before it had a delay, and it moves quicker, so it's a lot easier to target people, especially like low mobility heroes, with the gun and just do consistent damage to them. So on top of getting a damage buff, you're doing on hitting harder, you're hitting them more consistently too. So the protector just seems like it's going to be significantly stronger, and the games are definitely going to be shorter now.
Yeah. It also got a 5% health bonus with the 10 armor, so it's effectively, like 15% more health. It's much better. You kind of have to have two players in there.
All right, so
The one game I played in PTR, it kicked my ass. I'm like, get this thing away from me.
That's what it should be though, because it was
That's the
kind of
biggest difference.
It wasn't that strong, I think.
All right, so when you're putting two players into the protector, are you putting in essentially like the melee assassin and the bruiser in the mech?
More
Like therefore
or
you have
less.
the support. You would have the support outside. You'd have the main tank outside of the mech, and then you'd also have the ranged damage outside of the mech. Is that the way to go?
Yep. That's how you do it.
All right. Well, there you go. So there you go. All right. So this is still a big deal apparently, but like voice chat is now in the PTR, and it could come out whenever. It's not coming out on the next patch, but it could come out any time now. Who knows when? But they're testing it right now in the PTR.
Has anyone tested it?
Yes.
Well,
I mean, with strangers?
No.
No, it's okay.
Ganji, though.
Longest time they usually have a feature in PTR is like 3 weeks, right? A month max. So it should be soon.
Yeah, next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
tried
a good thing. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to have it. It's a little confusing at first, but it's pretty cool actually.
It works exactly like it does in Overwatch. So there's two chats that you can join, or channels if you think about it like that. There's your party chat, which is obviously the group you're with, playing with friends. And then if you join a game, you can also opt in to join the team chat, which is you join in with your party members and random strangers. And so you can opt in to stay in party chat or join the team chat. And it works great.
And so I think it's cool. I think it's there is a counter argument that if you're a female player, it's kind of a pain in the ass now, right? Because you have to deal with dudes, and I totally get it. It kind of sucks actually if you are a girl and you have to deal with because let's admit it, a lot of guys are kind of assholes, right?
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to participate. You could just join the chat and be silent, or you could not join the chat at all.
I agree. I totally agree. But I do recognize how it kind of does suck if you are a female, because you have another avenue of
Harassment.
Yeah.
Right. But I think again, you don't have to enter into the chat. It's a choice, right? So I think it's great. I think it's going to be really helpful for Hero League. And if I were to guess, I think the higher you go, the higher the participation rate in the voice chat will be, or the higher the percentage of people that that opt into the voice chat will be. And also, if you're also, it's another incentive. If you're a diamond or plat player, if you get high enough, you can actually potentially be in voice comms with with Nurok or Hasawabs or Quapniks or
McIntyre.
Fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
whoever.
you can actually listen to their disappointment in you. That's nice.
Yeah.
Ah,
Listening
but,
to them telling you suck and you're garbage.
yep.
Yeah, I know,
Can't
but I'm
wait.
just saying, like it could be quite a thrill if you're a fringe master level player and you get to participate in a voice chat with Fan or I don't know any other good NA players or like with or with LFM, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. So, but
Yep.
all right, let's move on. So Greymane, he got a rework. So
A
they baked,
buff.
yeah. So they kind of made the Q talents. They've kind of baked it into his standard kit now. So so let's go to old Backpack on his thoughts on the new Greymane.
What the hell, man? Greymane's been top assassin for the past 8 months. And they said, you know what? He needs to be buff. We want to have absolutely no character diversity in Hero League. Greymane's mandatory.
It's
I don't get it.
arguable that he got buffed.
Why? I mean, they gave him free talents, right? Level 4 talent. You have to get something better than Drought Overflow.
It's
Right?
a shittier talent though. That's the baseline, right?
Yeah, the
It's a
baseline
shittier
of
version.
the explosion area is 15% compared to
35.
the
35?
talent was 35. So the Q build, if you're going Q build, it actually you got nerfed. But if you go another build, it got buffed basically. It
Yeah.
basically makes multiple build or you have talent diversity. There we go. That's where I was going
Yeah.
with that.
But it just feels like they should have like somehow changed his numbers or did something else. This is just weird how they just gave him more options. He was already the best assassin, like the best, most overall ranged assassin in the game.
So okay, so let's talk about this. So the Wizened Duelist at level 7 is now a quest that stacks from the auto attacking of heroes and stacks 3 times as fast when attacking in melee form.
Mhm.
And you lose half your stacks when you die. Also, the mana cost for the Q got reduced by 15, but the explosion area got increased by 15%.
Does anyone else read that as Wizened Duelist instead of
It is
Wizened?
wizened, right?
What did I
Isn't
say?
it wizened?
I thought you said
I'd,
Wizened.
I'd say it's wizened, like a wizard.
But he's not a wizard. He's a wolf.
He's well, it takes magic to turn into a
Yeah,
wolf, doesn't it?
he's a guy who transforms between human and wolf. There's some sort of magic involved there.
He doesn't do it
he's
by
wizened.
choice, guys. He was
He's-
cursed. He and his people were cursed. They didn't want it.
With cursed with
Yeah.
magic though. Cursed with
Cursed
he
or
magic.
was-
not,
yeah.
somebody infused him with magic to be able to transform.
He doesn't have
Whether or not it was his choice, he's got the magic.
Okay, so what does wizened mean?
Really? We're gonna discuss. We're gonna go
Wise?
down this rabbit hole.
What? It
Are
means
you really
wise,
trying to
right?
get me to come up with an example of how when you change the tense of a word, the,
Oh,
the
no.
pronunciation changes?
We should call
Shri-
Miss Mano. She'll know.
Shriveled
we should call her
or-
great teacher.
It seems like you want to be wise in terms of the ability functionality in the sense that you get these stacks upon going into the right duels.
Yeah, but it's wizened because you turn into a wolf as you do it.
Not necessarily. You just gain more bonuses if you.
When you use magic to turn into that, yes.
Whatever.
Wizened is not a good thing. According to the dictionary, shriveled or wrinkled with age. What's a wizened duelist? A shitty duelist? Is that what the talent is?
He wrinkled the duelist.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Before we started talking about Greymane, we had 13 people watching, and now we only have 10.
Oh shit!
Nice.
The way we
No,
do
they're
it.
coming back. They're coming back.
See, we
Uh,
are.
People fall. I mean,
that's
people
debatable.
fall on and off. I mean, whatever.
But this talent looks pretty sweet to me.
Mhm.
It seems like it's going to take a very long time to max out, but I could see you getting like half the quest done, which is another 15% damage. which especially with the Q build being nerfed slightly, and just being less mandatory to get, I think it opens the way for Wizened Duelist to be picked in probably non-pro games.
Yeah, and Krond TV says it's technically pronounced wizard.
Wizard Duelist. That's what it's supposed to be.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's why it's wizened.
And Sanhot says
what makes Kron TV an authority on etymology?
He's got
etymology
TV
or whatever
in his name. It counts.
Yeah.
Well, according to our president, TV is fake news, so I don't.
Well, that's enough.
I'm pretty sure I've heard one of the casters say Wizened Duelist.
Me too.
Yeah.
What are the alternate? Wizened? Wizened?
All right, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track here. So
back to Black Chocobo.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Where were we? All right, so Greymane, is he Bacon, is he better or worse now?
More diverse.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't
shift.
Yeah,
Bacon
lateral
doesn't have an answer.
shift.
Okay. So, all right, is this a good change for Greymane?
I mean, I feel like Greymane ever since, like every time he gets touched, there's always that one build that's good. And it was Q build when he first launched, and then it was another like auto attack build for a while, and then now it's been Q build again. So, yeah, let's give him some talent diversity. Why not?
All right. Anything else on Greymane?
I'm still surprised they did a lateral shift to a nearly 100% picked hero.
Because his talent picks were 100% similar for 1 through 7.
Yeah, but don't you think there's better heroes to change, like Chen or Raynor, or there's all these heroes?
It was a pretty simple changes that they made to him. It wasn't like you got a full rework. They reworked how one ability went, and they reworked one talent.
Yeah, I just feel like there's better.
Didn't they say one of their stated goals with the rework was to increase talent diversity and not to just touch up heroes that haven't been touched up in a while? Even though, I mean, that's obviously one of the goals too, but it's to make for more varied, fun playstyles in a hero. Yeah. And Greymane, even though he's used a lot, there's one build.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so moving on. All right, so Malthael, he got a rework actually. So his auto attack got reduced by 30%, but now cleaves. The trait got nerfed by 12.5%. But it should have a higher uptime on multiple targets in team fights. Soul Rip, the healing got nerfed by 18%. Death Shroud, the E ability, the width got increased. Tormented Souls no longer grants armor, and Last Rites got buffed. The cooldown reduction, the range got increased. The quest credit extends 1 point. Anyway, he got changed.
Oh man, you got tired of reading out loud.
Yeah, I did.
That's so fair.
Well, I'd rather be drinking my wine instead. But all right, so Scott, what do you think about the changes to Malthael?
I like the changes because I don't play them. And I think it's easier to deal with them now. He's definitely weaker solo lane now. He hits significantly less harder. His sustain is less as well. So as long as you start beating on him when he's killed a couple of the minions in the wave, you should be able to trade much better than you are currently on live. And in team fights, he takes away from before when he had Tormented Souls. He was kind of weak in the team fight until he Tormented Souls, and then he just became a juggernaut that everybody just wanted to run from. And now with the changes to Tormented Souls no longer granting armor, the level 13 ability that granted physical armor, grants 30 instead of 40. He's a little bit squishier, but he has his auto attack now cleaves so that you can, when Tormented Souls is down, or if you go the other ultimate, you're able to hit multiple targets and have that higher uptime and just be more functional without Tormented Souls. And I actually think the other ultimate might be better than Tormented Souls now.
That's right.
Yeah, that 1.5
so
second. But
Yeah.
he got cleave, and then everything else was nerfed to compensate. Do you think it was too much? I think so. He's the first impressions on Reddit has been rip Malthael.
Mm-hmm. Soul
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So rip.
he basically, his whole team fight revolved around Tormented Souls, and now he doesn't need it as much. But then you have the question: is he going to be impactful with the whole rework now that he has more uptime on his trait without it? But does he hit hard enough to justify those nerfs?
So I don't mean to interrupt, but this has really made me laugh. Kron TV said, when in doubt, I assume I am the authority.
This is a listener of ours. You can tell.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, he'll fit in right in with GankBush.
Yeah, welcome to the Discord, Tron TV. We need you.
Yeah, and also Sliver, a friend of all of ours, I guess, is watching us for the first time. And anyway, I just want to say hi. That's all.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So I learned Malthael about, say, a month ago, and I noticed that spreading his march was actually a huge challenge. His auto attack is really slow, so the cleave is definitely a boost. But they've nerfed the damages in the numbers way too much. And there's even a post in the forums of Blizzard explaining what they did with him, and they know he's undertuned. They said, yeah, he's going to be a lot weaker now, but we need to figure out where to place him because the cleave is such a huge playstyle change, and they're just undertuning him first. But
Yeah,
it's a very good
place to start.
Yeah, it's a very good playstyle change because when you're Malthael, if you had Torrent of Souls on cooldown, you felt like a half mass boner. You had no power in this team fights. You felt terrible because his E is too easy to dodge, and you're not safe to spread your trait to anyone but a Tyrael, and he felt bad. So it's a much better playstyle change now that he has a cleave for his auto attack. Much easier to spread his trait around. But they know he's undertuned. They want you to play with him anyways to see what it's like, and then they'll change numbers as they get more data on him.
What was that?
That
was
was a fart noise.
Oh.
While I do a thumbs down.
Yeah. Well, it's a good playstyle change. Like I really like that. His cleave is necessary. Now his trait is able to be spread.
But Scott said, I don't play him, so it's good.
I do play him, so it's bad. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he's at times he can be stupidly hard to kill. There are some games where you have a bunch of bursts and you can burst them down, but if he's last picked and your whole team went sustained damage, you're not killing him when he tormented souls into your team. You just don't have the damage to kill him. So I like that he's a little bit squishier.
He's squishier, and also they just changed his playstyle. Now his trait can spread much more easily.
Yeah, I mean, I said in the notes, I think he's going to be a lot more like Lunara, where he does more spread damage, but just doesn't hit as hard, which probably makes him not very good for a melee assassin.
Yep,
I'm okay with that personally.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good with the
yeah. Yeah. Also,
we're good?
Do all of our fans know Matteo is Malthael? Because what if we have new listeners? Screw that.
Yeah, whatever.
Enough, right?
Yeah, it's close enough. They should be able to figure it out, right? There's only 3 characters that got changed, pretty much.
All right.
Anyway, Someone wants, like, Sand wants to create a fringe average face emote. What is that?
Can we?
What is that?
That's if you become a partner, I believe.
Oh, so like if
You know, like emotes,
that's
right?
A Twitch emote, right?
Yeah, you
And
can make
design your own, I
custom,
believe.
custom emotes, and you can give them to the people who subscribe to the channel can unlock them.
oh,
Oh.
how do you get those made?
We get one emote.
Beats
Okay.
me.
Oh.
The more
What?
the more subscribers you have and stuff, the more emotes you unlock.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
so
cool.
we can make one though if we want to.
Yes.
Is that how it works? Oh
Probably.
shit! All right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I'll look into creating one. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, should we just have a GBS emote instead of like Fringe's face?
We should have a poll or something like that. Do you want to see Tower Baron's face? A Tower
Oh,
Baron?
yeah.
emote? I think Tower Baron would love to have that. To be honest,
Yeah,
more than
I
I
have
would.
no objections.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, we should actually have we should have a vote. Say which podcaster do you want to have the emote of?
I already
see
have.
Fringe with his beanie holding a beer and smiling.
Eating those broccoli sprouts.
If you have a little animation with it, I don't know if they do animation, but him like waving the beer up and down and smiling.
Oh, well, maybe we can do
Oh.
one of my dog. How about that? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's what someone said. Yeah.
Pass.
I do
You
not
can do
pass.
one. Do it with the tower berries.
Tower Bear.
Oh, we'll figure that
That was
out. Actually,
yeah, that one's pretty. Pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah, I like that one.
Space Monkey says Fringe in his pose after the Sonya match.
I like
Oh,
that.
this right here. This right here.
Yes.
Fucking.
It is.
Or maybe I don't know. Maybe we can do like a broccoli sprouts.
Broccoli
That'd be kinda
sprout.
cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, like let's move on. Let's
All right.
move on. All right. Where am I? All right. So Tyrael, they buffed his. They nerfed his most picked level 1 and level 4 talents.
No, that's different. His level 1 talents got better, but his Justice for All talent got untouched.
Okay.
So
What
they
did I?
buffed Salvation, which was the healing on shield destruction, and they buffed the Ardent Restoration, which is the healing increase per damage done to opposing heroes.
Oh, okay.
But his Stalwart armor at 4, where he had 25 armor when he pressed Q, now it's
Yeah.
20 armor.
So I think these are good nerfs, right?
I don't know. It was, I guess he probably needed the nerf at level 4 for the armor reduction because that seems like a really powerful ability. Because you have the armor up as soon as you cast it, and I think for 3 seconds after you teleport. But the level 1s, the salvation where it gives you a heal after your shield expires. And the talent also buffs your shield. Seems okay. The health regen when you're attacking heroes for Ardent Restoration, I don't ever see that being good.
It's not good. Don't pick it. Justice for All is the best.
Like
talent.
if it was at like maybe 30, I could see that being good. But it just doesn't heal enough to only proc off of heroes. That talent just seems garbage.
Well, it is hero damage, so if you throw your Q on them, that counts as a tick. But it only lasts for 5 seconds, so you have to constantly be fighting. If you're in a really bad, ARAM game, maybe you can do it, but it's still bad. You want the Justice for All. That's his best talent.
What does Fringe have to say? He's the Tyrael guy.
Yeah, I mean, this hurts. I think you have to be even better now with him. That's all. I think it's kind of needed, to be honest, but yeah, I think this should be done with him. I think this is done. Like they don't need to change him for a while. I think after this.
Yeah,
that's my thought. I think he's in a good spot now, and that's pretty much it.
Agreed.
Okay, for petering out in the middle of the show, not good. All right, so Anna, now there will be an overlay that will now display for heroes affected by Nano Boost, which is great if you're
Thank
a Anna
God.
player. Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally. Also, Tyge's minigun has a much more obvious animation, as Tower Baron asked for.
Yep.
This is
just,
proof. Blizzard listens. Blizzard
just
cares.
Yep. Just last week, I mentioned that on the show with Gonjagoon. I said Tychus is silently powerful against noobs because they don't know when his minigun's going off because you couldn't tell visually when it was procced or when it was cast. Now there's like this little light or something that shines up on his gun like right when you cast it, and then it stays highlighted. It's a lot easier to see. So I have a theory that someone on the Blizzard development team heard the podcast, forwarded up the chain, and it got put in.
Yeah, and animated it within 3 days. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't
They're
that big
very
an
good over at
animation.
Blizzard.
I
Very
think they
skilled.
just made it a little bit brighter, and they just put like a little effect when you cast it. That's it.
All right. This is what I'll say. I guarantee you, no one from Blizzard, no Blizzard employee listens to us on a regular basis.
Well, yeah,
And even if they did, there's no fucking way they would make that public knowledge.
Yeah. They would not admit to that.
No.
Yeah.
This is like
Well, you know what? They may be getting a lot of great ideas from our show, though,
no.
and claiming them as their own.
This is what I'll say. If there is a Blizzard employee that listens to us recurringly, well, I'll make it my mission to create 3 emotes, and the fans can choose what they're going to be.
If there's
Email us.
all right, the proof is if in the next 6 months there's a chocolate cock that comes out as a mount,
Okay.
right?
No.
That's how we'll know.
Okay, that's not coming out. It's got to be
That's
something
not
more
coming out.
subtle.
No.
Like an Easter egg thing.
No,
It can't be
wait.
a chocolate
No,
cock.
No, just email us. Email me. Email me at podcast@gankbushsquad.com with your Blizzard email address and say, hey, Fringe, I listen to your show every week. And if you do that, in the next 2 weeks, I will make it my mission to make 3 fan-created emotes for everyone.
Also
Dude,
with
why are you
photo
so, like-
evidence.
Yeah. Why are you so freaking combative, man? You're like
I am combative.
You slapped him with a glove for the duel or something. Like, what are you
What?
doing?
No. I don't think it's true. That's all. I don't think anyone from actually I don't think anyone listens to us, to be honest. But
Well, here's what I think happened. Someone listens to the show and they know someone who knows someone who knows someone at Blizzard, and they got forwarded. That's what.
All of that.
I
in
don't
the
think-
last 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hey, check out this podcast. No one can tell when Tychus's minigun's getting cast. Like oh shit, and then it travels fast. It's like oh, it's a small change. Then we just add a little brighten effect to his minigun when it's cast. That's it.
Yeah, it's easy to animate. It's not
Yeah,
hard.
it's not something
It's
spectacular.
blast up saturation.
It's not like Hanamura's grass in the wind, like that level.
all right.
Yeah,
all right,
that's
so,
how things
let's,
work.
Yeah. All right, so let's do the what everyone's been waiting for, apparently.
Well, actually, can I also say that Liort's Entomb reticle is now actually matches the Entomb area? And we
So
also
you know what?
appreciate
There's a
that.
few times where I thought he entombed people, and people were like, "How did you miss Leoric?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"It didn't match
exactly.
up." People,
Yeah.
like, I got flamed a few times. I was like, "Hey, it was on it when I had the little ghost image over it before I cast it, and then they
Mhm.
walked like on the edge and it went out."
Yeah, I am really happy about that because I missed way more than I should have on the
That was kind of
Entomb.
bullshit. Everyone thinks I'm a noob because I missed it. Like, no, he was in it, but then he floated out or something.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right. So now we're going to do the. I'll give Bacon some time to get it all ready, but
I'm ready.
we're going to do the team fight analysis with Nurok, who is the ranged carry for Team Liquid, and Team Liquid is in the HUC right now, and they're currently 2-1, I believe.
are you going to set up this?
Yeah. So
view?
yes, I'll set it up. So basically, this is a video that he did, and it's a team fight from a Friday Feed Fest game. So it's basically from players from the GankBush Squad as well as fans, except for EBS Graphic, who's not a fan, but who hangs out on their Discord all the time anyway. But anyway, it's a fan game, and he took the time out of his busy schedule to do a replay analysis for us. So what he's going to do is he'll look at the talents of every player and then do a deep dive into the team fight. So what we're going to do is we're going to not talk. He's just going to talk for the video for like 16 minutes or 17 minutes. And then after the video ends, we'll add any other analysis that we may see worth talking about. So let's do it.
All right. See you on the other side.
So, hello guys. This replay was given to me so I can analyze an upcoming team fight for you. The team fight is like 2 minutes long, but before I will come to the actual brawl, I want to go over some talents and the overview of the map, experience, stuff like that. So obviously I can be a bit pedantic regarding talent choices. So I will just go from person to person and analyze every single talent tier, talent build. So let's start with Sonya from the blue team. She went for leap in this game. It's reasonable, I would say. The enemy team doesn't have cleanse, but if she decides to go for leap, the enemy team, the blue team needs to specialize in diving in the back line, in my opinion. Like, they cannot go for the front line. And I think she should have focused on take on level 4 for more burst, because they rely on the burst, they rely on killing someone with the actual combos. Artanis, I think all talents are good. Yeah. Like 1, 4, and 7 are for sure the best tiers on this map, and I think in general as well. He might have gone for blind against the enemy team because they have a lot of auto attack damage. Even charge strikes, they can deny charge strikes with the blind, so he might have gone for that, but I don't question the build from Artanis. So Valera, level 7, level 4, level 1. Very, very different build from what I've seen. I think the Garrett build is the best. I'm not the best Valera player, but yeah, it's just my personal impression that Garrett build is the best, and you should go for the slow on level 1 because it ensures that you can deal a lot of damage over the slow duration, which is I think 4 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that. I'm not quite sure. Vala went for standard build on this map. Yeah, nothing to add. It's a good build, it's the best build. Lucio could have gone for boombox on level 7. Might have gone for, I mean, level 4 I think is personal preference. I don't want to say anything about that, but level 7 boombox, it's the upcoming most popular talent for the Lucio players, especially on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, where vision is very, very crucial. Boombox, what is the cooldown of boombox? I think like 20 or 30 seconds. And the duration is like also 20 or 30 seconds, so the uptime of boombox is 100%, even more than that. I think the cooldown is lower than the actual uptime, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a Lucio player either, but anyways, what boombox does is it acts like a ward. It gives you vision, and if you place a boombox in a bush, it's actually hard to scout, and yeah, you have to kill it. I think it takes 2 or 3 auto attacks, and people don't see it always. It's very strong. It's for sure very strong. From red team, Stukov has standard build, I would say. Kinda. I mean, Stukov talents, I think he's flexible level 1. You can go for spine launcher as well, and Stukov will be a ranged DPS. ETC has standard talents. Arthas decided to go for a quest on level 1. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. It might be good against, if you decide to solo lane a lot, for example on Braxis against Shen, then you could go for that talent, but yeah, I think the W is better, provides a lot more. I think it has 2 or 3 perks within the actual quest. It gives increased range, it gives more reliable CC. It's just a very, very good talent. I would go for the W quest almost any time, unless you are solo tanking as Arthas. Cassia went for the old school build, I would say. A lot of people going for Q build by now. I think I was also the first one who was playing Q build. It is, in my opinion, the best build. Obviously, Charge Strikes has its power spike on level 1, and it is a very, very strong talent. But I think Q build is a better build overall because it gives you more flexibility. It gives you a lot of sustained DPS overall. you are not only dealing damage while you have your charge strikes, you obviously deal damage if you have your Q up, and you basically have your Q up all the time as a Q build Cassia. And the power spikes on level 16 and 13 are very, very big. Like, Cassia is, in my opinion, one of the best late game carries if she has Q build the quest finished and all given talents. 13 and 16 are the biggest power spikes. Level 7 is a very, very big power spike for Cassia. Actually, she went for Fent on level 7. That is for sure not the correct choice. I don't know exactly how the talent is called, but the talent where she stacks up damage for a passive and then can deal a AoE damage around her is the best talent at any time on level 7. Tyrant, I don't like Tyrant. I don't think she's a good hero. And I'm not familiar with talents, but level 1 is for sure the correct choice. But level 4 and 7, I cannot really comment on that too much. I think the stun and silence removal is reasonable. Against Valera, Rain of Vengeance, yeah, I guess it's fine. So, overall, I think the talents are fine. Nothing too strange, like maybe Valeria build is a bit out of place, but apart from that, I think all talents are kinda okay-ish, or even good. So, let's go to the actual overview. Blue team is almost level 13, the red team is level 13 already, and the red team decided to start the hard camp, which is a very, very good decision in my opinion, because you obviously want to apply Merc pressure during the Immortal phase, and this is almost a perfect timing. Like, they should have been finished already. If they were done with the hard camp by now, they would have a few seconds to walk up to the middle and show presence at the own Immortal. Sadly, they are a bit late, but it's not too big of a deal, and I like a decision making here. This is actually a high level play. Oh, pardon. Oh no, please. The camera will bug out now. Ah, oh my god. Okay, I think I fixed it. So yeah, I shouldn't click on the characters, I figured. The blue team decides to start easy camp. It's also a bit late, but since the red team is also late, but you shouldn't rely on the enemy team being late and start your own work. Like, they should have done it earlier. Both teams should have done it earlier, and sadly the blue team doesn't have a hard camp. I mean, it's fine. So, what the red team should do and what the blue team should do in the upcoming 1 or 2 minutes is, in my opinion, the red team is playing double support. If you're playing double support, you will most likely lose every race, and you want to race as least as possible. You only want to race if you are behind and have to sacrifice something. If you have to depush a Merc or have to depush a lot of minions, soak experience, or get to a certain talent tier, stuff like that. Then you can sacrifice and race as double support, but apart from that, you really don't want to race. You don't want to do that. Because you will lose every race, especially if you have, I mean, you have Tyrant and Cassia, but the enemy team has Artanis, Vala with Q build, and even Sonya has a lot of damage, so you for sure don't want to race. They even have an easy camp on bottom side, and they will have a hard camp on top side, and the hard camp will outpush the easy camp, or it should at least. You will see how the RNG gods will decide on that. So, the red immortal is spawning on top side, and the blue immortal is spawning on bottom side. And as I said, red team should move here, blue team should move here. I mean, actually, the blue team wants to DPS, they should probably move here, or they should try to de-push the Mercs. But, well, I think it will be a bit of chaos. So, I think we just watch it, and I'll give a bit of commentary and analyze the given situation. Blue team is done with an easy camp on top side. They are a bit late, as I said. Red team is still on the hard camp, but I mean, yeah, it is okay. It's not too big of a deal, I would say, because both teams were kind of late. So the red team, I mean, yeah, they don't want to race, as I said, but they decide to do so. And I think Artis is moving up solo here. He's the only one who wants to show presence, who wants to defend. And I think everyone on that team should have made that call, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. The decision was made, and we will see what happens now. I think Artis might get engaged on here, because the blue team is actually moving up here, and I think he will. That is some very ballsy movement by Arthas. He pops Icebound, he pops his ghouls, ETC cube gets interrupted, and Arthas lives. Actually, everything was used on Arthas. Like, literally everything. Like, they used Rain, they used Valeera engagement, they used Leap even on him, and they used the healing reduction from Wound Poison on level 4. So, he should have died, but since it's Arthas with his best friend Frostmourne, it's hard to kill him, and yeah, if you decide to focus on Arthas and don't kill him, you might be doomed for the upcoming team fight. You really have to kill him if you decide to focus on Arthas. If you don't, he will be angry and he will turn around and kill you. And I think that might happen, but we will see. But before I will resume, I want to stress once again that the blue team decided to go for Leap on Sonya, and the red team doesn't really have a cleanse apart from the level 4 talent from Tyrant, which is not the most reliable cleanse in some scenarios. So, as I pointed out earlier, they should have just dove in the backline all the time, and they should never focus the Arthas. Yeah, focusing the Arthas is a very blunt decision, and it's hard to justify it, because he usually shouldn't die, but he actually almost died, and if they got the kill, they would have probably made out an advantage. Actually, they even won the race, but that is because they have Vala and they were a bit earlier. So let's resume. Lightning Ball was used as well. Artanis ultimate on Stukov. Sonya is a bit deep here, she might die. She Qs on Cassia, she actually gets out. Valeera is on bottom side alone. I will pause for a second. So the blue team lost the trade, and the red team will probably sustain back to full health because they play double support. Valeera is deep, and she has cooldowns up actually, so she might actually live. And oh no, I shouldn't have done it. No, I should not have done this. Okay, I think. Okay, we are good. So let's see what will happen here. Valeera is moving a bit strangely, and the red team is a bit sleepy here. She actually gets out. Okay. I guess that's fine. Blue team is refreshing, even recalling or tapping the Moonwell, which is fine, they have to. And then they have to re-engage once again. And I will have to pause for a second once again. Hard camp on top side is pressuring, so the hard camp won against the easy camp, and there was still a bit more pressure before Valeera cleared on bottom side. So the red team in a very, very good spot. They won the trade. They didn't win the initial race, but that is okay, because they still have more pressure, and they will most likely win this fight, or they should at least, but we will see what happens. So let's resume and see what happens. The blue team is flanking. I like the approach. Valeera's coming from bottom side. They engage on Cassia. So, if they had Leap still up, this would have been a dead Stukov or a dead Cassia, or even both. Both might have been dead. That would have been a really, really good trade for the blue team, but sadly they didn't have Leap anymore. And Stukov had actually a clutch ultimate here for a good disengagement. Arthas used his active, by the way, once again. Because it has a low cooldown, he has it always up. ETC is out of mana, he Qs in. Sonya might die here, she should die. She's low HP, she's dead. Valeera tries to get out, she does. Artanis engages once again. And I think he should be fine. He's actually going in once again. That is a bit questionable, and he might get punished for this one. He should not just run, he should try to out-attack, especially because he has W up. Oh, please. Oh, yeah. Like, if you have your W up, you should always, like, even if you're low HP, you should try to utilize your passive, and you need to use your W. It gives you 8 seconds cooldown reduction on your passive, and he might have lived, but I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. So, obviously, the red team in a very good spot. They will get this Immortal. They traded 2 for 0, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they did. So, they got the Immortal. It is close to 50% HP. Hardcamp is pushing top side. They most likely get this wall here as well. Sonya's moving to deep push, which is fine. Valera's recalling here. Remodel is going to spawn here, and I think the red team is in a very, very good spot to most likely close out this game. Maybe even with this Immortal. I cannot really tell, but what I can tell is that the team fight, I mean, the red team kinda made questionable decisions, but because they have an easier draft, I think double support is easier to play, usually. Especially on... it depends. It depends. Like, let's say if you're playing double support, you can afford to do more mistakes. And they actually made mistakes, and they didn't die, nor they lost any trades. So it was less punishing for them, for sure. If they didn't have double support, others might have died, actually, and the game might have gone in a complete different way. But yeah, that is happening in a different universe, and I cannot really judge that. So I hope you guys can work with this video, and obviously next time I will try to appear live on the show, but we are having a very, very, very stacked schedule right now because HEC is starting again, and we obviously have 2 matches this weekend, and I hope that we will 2-0 this weekend, and we will see. So I hope you guys like the analysis. Let me know some feedback. You can tweet me at Liquid Nurok, or yeah, let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed it, and bye bye.
All right, are we back?
We bet.
That was really cool though, guys. Like Nurok, a professional, watching our shitty game. Like,
Yeah,
you need to give like him all the applause for going through that. He just watched a Silver 5 game and commented on it.
He was pretty surprised. He was trying to make it nice on you saying questionable decisions instead of
Yeah, here's
stupid-ass
Arthas walking into
decisions.
5 members of the enemy team.
I like how he kept saying, well, you know, this is okay, I guess. It's like, it's not what I would do. It's probably not the best decision, but I mean, what do I expect from these guys? I don't know. I guess it's all right.
In another universe, it would have gone a completely different and better direction, but this is not that universe.
He's like, I wish I could do this and live.
If only all games were this easy.
Mm-hmm. But that's still super cool that Nurok took time out of his, you know, HGC schedule to watch our video and comment. So,
Well,
a lot of applause for him, man. A lot of
also a lot of applause for the Patreon subscribers who actually made this possible.
Yeah, so for those, so full to be upfront about this is that Nurok was financially compensated for doing that video, and the goal that I want to start using the Patreon for is to get more HGC or pro player caliber players to come on the show and to do stuff like this. Now, I think what I want to do is have that person come on the show, and we can just, you know, talk, have more of an interaction with this person. But the way, so right now with Patreon is we have enough now where we have enough to pay our bills. So for the hosting of the website and the hosting of the actual podcast. And what I wanted to start using the Patreon for is to bring people on the show and to do more stuff like this, or to do more stuff that we did with Hero Physio, the coach for LFM, like 2 episodes ago. So again, if you want to support the show, and again, every dollar that we make from this point forward, as of now, goes to having more people like that come on the show. So this is in a situation where, you know, we'll take a percentage of the cut. What we're gonna do is the everything extra that we make from the Patreon will go towards supporting stuff like this. So if you like this type of content and want more stuff like this, more like teamfight analyses and draft analysis, please support us on Patreon. And with where we're at right now, we can do one of these every about 5 to 6 weeks. But if we get more people to contribute to us via Patreon, we can bring on more guests, and we can do more stuff like this. Now with all the downloads that we get from our content, if everyone just gave $1 a month, we could have someone on every week to do a show. So if everyone just gave $1 a month, we can have whoever you want on the show. Well, you know what I mean. we can have pro players to come on the show and do stuff like this on the show. So if you want to get more in-depth analysis about team fighting and or drafting, please support us on Patreon, and all the money we get goes back into the community or back into the show. So and second of all, I think it was really fucking cool that we had Nurok, a pro player, and he did that replay analysis in about 2 days, because I gave it to him on a Tuesday, and then like on Thursday he gave it to us. So, and he did that during a busy week right before the first week of HGC. So he actually spent 30 minutes of his day watching our shitty games, playing really bad.
That's really, really cool, right? Like, I'm happy that he did it.
Yeah, no,
we're all appreciative.
We're all very, very happy that he took time out of his day and lowered his standards to
Everyone lowers their standards.
I don't know. Just based on his mastery of the replay system, his standards are not too much higher than where we're at.
Oh, I see. We're
calling you out,
Nurok. Oh, please no! Come on.
Oh, please don't do this. Why did I press that?
So, but anyway,
now we're gonna troll him.
But anyway, yeah. So again, if you want to get more, pro level caliber players on the show, we'll make it happen if we get more subscribers to the Patreon. So our last segment is a draft analysis segment. So for those of you who don't know, what we do is we tell you the map and we tell you the team of the allies and the team of the opponents, but we leave out one character, and we discuss who that character should be, and we discuss it from our each respective play levels. So you'll get the viewpoint of someone in silver versus someone in master levels. So here we go. So the draft is on Braxis Holdout, and the allies have Zul'jin, Stukov, Murden, and Hanzo. The opponents have Vala, Stitches, Sonya, Gul'dan, and Oriel. So again, allies Zul'jin, Stukov, Murden, Hanzo. Opponents Vala, Stitches, Sonya, Gul'dan, and Oriel. So if you're the allies, what is your fifth pick? We'll go to Scott first.
Well, you definitely need a solo laner because we're playing on Braxis Holdout. So you got a few options depending on how you want to go. You could go Leoric, Zagara, Malthael. I'd say those are probably your three best options. Zagara, I would say, would probably definitely win the lane. Leoric would probably lose. Malthael would be pretty even.
I think Leo does okay against Sonya, at least ties.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you land your creepy hand. Yep.
I think you would probably slightly lose as Leoric.
Yeah.
Also,
it's not going to be devastating.
The reason I say that is the Leoric can go Tomb and help with the kidnaps if the Stitches decides to go Gorge.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, if Stitches, Gorges, Leoric can always Wraith Walk out.
Right. Leoric has other additional utility. He's solo lanes, and I think you would, for the most part, lose that lane, but he's got utility later on in the game that makes him very useful and justifiable, even though he won't necessarily win.
Yeah, Zul'jin also has decent range if you can get your stacks going. So Zul'jin could also be a solo laner against Sonya.
Oh, that's a bit rare,
like,
but yeah.
Like Zul'jin can poke Sonya out all day and get his quest up.
I don't see Zul'jin holding that point, though.
No.
Well, yeah. You don't have to
poke it, though.
Yeah.
What does Tower Baron think?
My first inclination is Leoric, of course.
Of course.
But I think, like Scott was saying, is that looking at the draft, a lot of people don't think of the matchups. And when we had Hero Physio on a few weeks ago, it kind of, like a light bulb kind of went in my head. Like, I don't really think about the drafts with terms of the matchups, like pre-level 10 and how it's going to fall out. But I think knowing that they have Sonya, and you're probably going to go 4-1 this, you have to think about who's going to solo lane against Sonya. And I think a lot of lower level drafts don't really consider that. And it's going to be really important because if you can't push out Sonya, or if you lose it really bad, it's going to be really hard to get both those points. So I think, like Scott was saying, you need a really strong solo laner. Rework, I think, can go pretty close to Sonya. Burden of execution is much higher because you have to land your W's, your creepy hands, to kind of, if you miss one or two, definitely it's going to be very difficult for you to claim the point.
But I mean, she will be. I mean, it's a melee range W, right? Like you're gonna be on top of her when you cast it. Shouldn't be that hard.
True, but if you miss for some reason, then it's gonna be really hard to like even it back out. You have to hit them all.
True.
So I think that's the most important thing with the draft is getting the right solo laner against Sonya on top.
It's Braxis Holdout, and Braxis Holdout is usually one of the most snowbally maps. Someone did a stat on Reddit like a month ago. If you win the first Zerg wave on Masters MMR, you have an 84% chance of winning the game. So it's very snowbally. It's one of the most snowbally maps in the pool. So your main priority is, well, right. Let's look at the comp: Zul'jin, Hanzo, Stukov, Muradin. That's the 4-man. Or if we don't, if we go that route, and Hanzo has a lot of poke, has armor decrease at level 7, so you can poke out infinitely against a Gul'dan and a Vala. They have very short ranges compared to a Hanzo. So very good angles in the bottom shrine area to get sharpened. I mean, what's his scatter arrows off of, right?
Yep.
So basically, the 5th pick should enhance the top lane and make sure that you win the solo lane against Sonya. So if you're confident that your Leo can take on Sonya, I would do that. I would be fine with Zul'jin going top lane too, and then you can also enhance like go Blaze or something for the bottom 4-man, go an extra tank.
Does
maybe even like a
versus Sonya?
Or maybe like a Chromie.
Oh yeah.
Poke him out.
Chromie Retorial.
Hanzo pokes.
Your Rexar, maybe, right? Maybe Rexar.
I mean,
I think at the lower levels, Leoric is the way to go.
Yeah,
I think Leoric is just safe. Like I can trust most silver level Leorics to do somewhat of what he should do.
Well, assuming they learn the right abilities, a lot of low level ones will go. They won't go filthy unto death, which is a huge mistake. You'd have to go that in this map, I think, because there's so much fighting.
You could go Osin's Renewal.
Yep.
You get a ton of globes if you're able to get your middle globe and get the one that spawns. That cooldown's extremely short.
I don't think you're going to be able to get both globes. I think Sonya's going to have a slight advantage. And Ocean's Renewal, I know it's kind of picked here and there, but I think Fealty is the easier one to go off of. Because even if you get pushed out, you can still kind of regen up with the minions hit against the tower. If your lane gets pushed in.
You also have infinite mana if you have Ocean's Renewal. That's the other benefit.
No, that's Fealty until death.
Fealty,
yeah.
You have infinite mana, which makes your laning easier.
A lot of people, I think, go the team fight, skeletal swing, heal talents, which I think is a big mistake.
It's a bad talent for that map.
Yeah, especially if you're the solo laner, like that's gonna be your responsibility. So Leoric with that talent. If you go the wrong talent, then you're screwed completely.
Space Monkey has a good point here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pat. Say it.
No, so Space Monkey says I'd say Zul'jin solo lane, go Guillotine, then get Zarya for the 4-man and push really hard bottom. That could work.
Yeah.
Who are you pushing bottom with in that group? You got Hanzo, Stukov, Muradin, and Zarya.
Zarya pushes really well.
Hanzo's garbage at pushing. His scatter arrow bounces off
what are you talking about? You go Redemption, right? Which it's very easy to finish Redemption at level 1 because you're poking so much. and then you do the cube explosion on minions at level 4, and that also works against monsters, so it helps with anti wave.
Yeah, but as far as taking structures down, he's not very good at it.
Well, but Zarya with Feel the Heat is very good at it.
Yeah. And the Zarya also
but
has
then
pocket.
you got the Vala or the Gul'dan feeding the Ariel energy to push back.
And you feed the Zarya energy for the Qs. Like, I think the safe pick definitely is Leoric, so I agree with that. But the alternative thinking of Zarya, saying, wait a minute, let's change this draft around, it's still viable. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So Ganjagoon says, feel the heat for Zarya, and then gets Tugov to zone the kids out.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's a very...
Stukov to zone the kids out?
You could have like Stukov sit in the...
Stitches hooks Stukov.
Well, that's why you lurking arm in the minion wave, so that's not a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But also, this is actually a Ganjagoon game. This is a Hero League game from Ganjagoon. So I stole one of his drafts.
Wow. Who was the final pick?
The last pick was Malthael.
Oh, yeah. Not bad.
So they had Zul'jin. I guess he was talking about the Zul'jin soloing top because that would actually happen.
Yeah, I stated he was a solid pick.
Yeah, and oh god. And
this guy, I was right.
He's got a horn, so he can.
He could go toe to toe with Sonya. He'll contest that lane. He'll hold that lane probably about half the time.
It's about.
Another good pick we didn't mention was Dahaka, where you're going to lose against Sonya, but you can burrow down and get kills. So if your Dahaka is good at burrowing and getting those drags, you will dominate the lower lane.
And so Ganjagoon asks in chat, did you guys win this? Yes, Ganjagoon, you did win the game with the Malthael. I wanted to use a draft from a higher level game instead of like all these low level games. So this is a
because these two team comps actually make sense.
Exactly.
They actually have an idea behind it.
The Vala and the Gul'dan to feed the Ariel is not the best. You'd be better off having some sort of more tanky hero to just have the one battery be able to go ham.
All right,
so
Mr.
Hindsight. Kind of a shitty pick. I mean, it's better than most of the lower level drafts.
It's all on the Stitches to hit his hooks, and on Brex's holdout where you're 4v4ing so much, it's not, there's area for Stitches to carry the game, and then you go like what? Stitch, Hook, Gorge, Fear Bomb into like Rain of Vengeance. I don't know.
Yep. Well, so there you go. All right, so I guess we'll do another draft analysis next week. But so quickly, Bacon. For those people who want to catch up on the HUC, what are the most important series? Series.
Series.
Serai.
Yeah, the Serai.
Which HUC Serai are the most important from each region? If someone wanted to go back and watch the videos, which ones do you recommend?
In Korea, all the matches in Korea are kind of expected, except for Tempest 3-0ing Black in week 1.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Outside of that, out drafted hard.
Yeah. And then you definitely saw that Black was kind of playing it conservative the next couple of matches, and all the games in Korea went as expected. The better team usually won, and it was almost always a 3-0. In Europe, Dignitas, if you want to see someone dominate, I guess. But I would say Fnatic versus... Who did Fnatic lose to?
Fnatic lost to Zealots.
Expert? Zealots. Yeah, that was good.
The Fnatic... who did they beat by the... they beat... Was Method in Fnatic this last week, or was that the week before?
Shoot,
I think it was the Friday game, where that game went 5 matches, I believe, and that was good to watch. I don't know if you guys want me to spoil that or not.
That's all right.
I haven't seen it.
So another series to watch in NA is obviously the LFM beating GFE.
LFM beating GFE. You had the Tempo Storm versus Team 12 and the Tempo Storm versus Team Freedom, which are those three are probably the top three teams right now. So you get to see how those teams kind of match up.
Yeah, and for full analysis on the HUC and esports for HOTS, please go to the Troll and HUC podcast. Bags and Liquid do they go way deep into the HUC and the Open Division and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, speaking of LFM, they're recording an episode tonight the same time as us, and they're having on Hero Physio to review this past weekend.
Well, that motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, fucking.
That motherfucker, he commits like pod adultery at a moment, like at a pin drop. Okay, someone wants me on a show, I'll go on. I don't give a shit. God damn it. That motherfucker, man.
No loyalty.
Exactly.
Nope.
Like he's so desperate for people to know who he is, he'll just go on any show.
Like
I'm pretty sure he's a berry salesman.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's fine
Although
with
some
lowering
of the
his price.
GankBush Squad members got to be coached by him firsthand.
Yeah.
Couple games
Still, fuck
over the
that
weekend.
guy.
But anyway, so I guess that's our show. Right.
Well, also, during HGC, Ganja and friends are in Discord actually commentating and watching the shows too. That's really fun.
That's right. So I think they're migrating to I think Bags is hosting it now, and Ganjigun is like a co-analyst. I don't know what they're doing
They were
actually.
in the Trolls Discord this last week.
Yeah, if you go to our Discord, Ganjigun will put a link to whatever it is they're doing. So if you want to talk HUC with other people, please go to our Discord and you'll find a link to wherever it is you need to go.
Yeah, that's Friday and Saturday usually.
Yeah. So, but and lastly, a little bit of fringe average news. Good news. For those of you who listened about 40 episodes ago about my ex, that's all paid up. I got the last payment.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then payoff 40 weeks later.
40 episodes deep.
Holy shit.
So for those of you who want to know about my drama or my drams, please.
Did she
go
pay
listen to
the interest and everything?
Was it?
No interest. Just got the dinero back in full. But that's
so
why.
It was dinero. It wasn't like, oh, I know you're late, but here's how you could make up for it. No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's not go down that path.
Anyways.
So anyway, it's so that's why I'm having that's why I'm drunk right now. Is that I'm celebrating.
You got the money back.
I'm celebrating my mental state being a lot better, hopefully moving forward now. So
wait,
Fridge,
if another offer comes up.
Sanhot says, "What the hell are you talking about? Recap, please. Give context from 40 episodes ago."
all right, so that's our show. And,
All right, I'll do it in 2 sentences or less.
No. This is my business. Keep it to yourself.
You fucking made it everyone's business 40 episodes ago when you went on a 25-minute rant about it.
They have to go back in time.
No.
Well,
There already.
Well,
Time.
basically, Fringe Average broke up with his girlfriend, and then he was bummed out about it. He moved, I think, maybe because of it. And then she came back to him like, hey, can I have some money? And then he was like, yes.
I'm in a bind.
Yeah, I'm in a shitty spot. Can I have some money? He lent her the money, and then she paid it back.
After 40 weeks.
After 40 weeks.
That's the abridged version.
Yeah, good guy Fringe lending people money.
Very nice guy.
And now he's drunk.
And I think when he talked about it then, we all advised against it, but
Don't do it.
And he's like, no, I'll get the money back. I'll get it back.
Anyway, that's our show.
Oh, hell no. That's what
I guess
Trying to shut it down, but
we
have a good outro tape for you guys.
Yeah, so what are we doing now with the outro?
Yeah, so for the Patreon people, they'll get this video in their inbox soon, I guess, to watch the I created the first 5 games a highlight of the Fringe's placement games, and then we'll upload that to YouTube and get it out to you guys soon enough. Patreon subscribers first, but for those who are watching right now, you can kind of get a highlight segment of it. It's a lot of fun, and then I'll probably do part 2 like next week or the week after.
Yeah.
But the show is over, so you don't really have to stick around. But if you want to watch some failure, you can stick around.
Yeah.
I guess. And
I'm
That's
waiting
part of the
for
show.
the commentary section where Fringe power slides and doesn't hit anybody, and Grizzly says, "Oh, classic Fringe."
Yep.
That better be cut in there. If it's
yeah,
not, I'm gonna
It
be
is.
disappointed.
It is in there. But yeah, Tarban's lead us out.
That's our show, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
All right.
Awesome.